He's working off a script called Life and Limb. It was the same script that the two girls earlier did, and this is Franklin. This is the guy that was Shayla's character's husband. He went to Korea, he lost his arm, came back, and he just wasn't the same man. That being said, whenever you're ready.
I had this. I had a family. I had everything there for me. A loving family. Family that went to help others. A father, a physician, a mother who's a nurse. They help people's lives, but in the end, they neglected one. I don't know where my life went downhill. You know, I would get these violent thoughts, images, urges. All the time, I would just look up in the ceiling. I was like, gosh, what kind of person am I? These visions I get at night, where violence is always occurring around me. And then somehow the Great Depression came over. My father lost his job, and my mother lost her job as well, and all they were doing is bickering and fighting and drinking online, and having my father beat my mother. Just senseless and restless, as I want to say. And one night, it was so horribly. We were in my parents' room, and I would hear my father just abusing my mother sexually. And I, a kid, I don't know what to do, but all of a sudden I felt this sexual gratification. And I stopped. I'm like, this is not who I am, a kid. And somehow I blocked that out of my mind. I blocked it out. And then I would always go with my father. He would just take me to out in the fields, and we would shoot guns and have like a nice father-son bonding time. And then from that point on is where I would associate violence with gratification. But I knew it was wrong. And I blocked that away. And I met this wonderful, wonderful girl years later. I was in my turmoil. I didn't know where to go. I felt so depressed. But I found her. Effie. She had this nice poodle skirt. And she had hair like Donna Reed. I fell in love with her. I was happy. But all of a sudden, I would just get these urge of violent urge, and I know it's not me, and so I would just lash out verbally to anyone, and to her mostly. And I thought, maybe if we get married, this will stop. And it didn't. It got worse and worse and worse. And so all of a sudden I got good news to go to Korea. Finally, my grandfather's dream and my father's dream, something that they couldn't do because they got flat feet, was given to me. And I felt pride. I felt honor. I went to Korea, and all of a sudden I got this blown off. The same arm when I showed Effie the tattoo so lost. And I went back to that place. Back to the place where I was comfortable. As oddly as it seems, yes, I was comfortable, oddly comfortable with feeling sexual gratification with violence. I love Effie so much, and then I wrote a poem. I don't know what poem I wrote, but I wrote a poem about her having this switch, and Todd having the switch. And every time I would go towards Effie, and she switched my happy side, and then in a quick second I go back down, and I go to Todd, meaning my violent side. I was always up and down, and I didn't know what to do. And it was in that moment when I gave up. I gave up on everything, and knowing that Effie and her friend Dorna couldn't come back, I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And for one night she came, and she said, "You know what to do, Franklin. You know what to do." I was sobbing, and I did not know what to do before she said that. But when she said it, everything clicked. I want to be with Effie. I love her. And what's right is to be with her. She's in hell. And I want to be with her in hell. And one way to see her is to help Todd finish business. I want to see her.
Good. All right, good. Now, good. You told the whole story. You added a lot of personal, well, not personal stuff, but you added a lot of backstory that's not given, and you incorporated it into the story that is given. And our job is to have an understanding of these human beings. And it seems like you said something to me the other day, that you made a discovery about Franklin. You've been working on Franklin for a long time now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're still making discoveries.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you find that interesting in itself?
Yeah.
Do you make discoveries about Ruben almost every day or quite often?
Yeah, when I texted you, I kind of, well, I was afraid of Franklin
Yeah.
because he's the total opposite of me,
Mm-hmm.
in so many ways. But when I read the script, and I've had the play, and I've had also personal experience, I'm like, I made a bridge towards him, like a strong bridge, and it was his fear of not being accepted in life.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I played with that because it's something I felt so long.
Exactly. You personalized it.
And I personalized it the
Yep.
whole, like having visions at night.
Yep.
That's me as my childhood, because I mentioned, I would have obsessive intrusive thoughts, so I would put that into Franklin and add obviously his information. I mean via the monologue, and just went with that, but still kept the feeling of not being accepted.
Yeah. And none of the choices that you made contradicts the story that we're telling, right? And Ruben understands them. That's another example of a strong choice. It doesn't contradict the story, and the actor understands it, which means that the actor could use it. Now, just because it doesn't contradict the story, and it might be really cool, if you don't understand it as an actor, then it's not going to serve you. It's not going to help you. You're going to be guessing, and the behavior is not going to be as connected as it should. And that's it. Now, everybody's different. Every single human being is different, which means that it should look different for every single human being. And that's all you could do. Now, I don't have any actor's notes because it was an exercise, but as long as it gets you closer to the character and the story, then it's a success. Do you feel like it did?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of him anymore.
Perfect.
I just feel like I want to cry for him.
You
Because-
empathize with him.
Yeah. And then, well, the last few times I read it was 3 days ago. I read it twice, and every time I would just think about Franklin, I would just cry.
Perfect.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I
Perfect.
just want to cry.
Now,
for
there's
you.
a lot. Franklin's a very sad character, and he's actually a very easy character to judge. But that's for everyone else in the world to judge except Franklin. You see what I mean? So, which means that Reuben can't judge Franklin. And now you understand that. The losing the arm, I mean, what is it like to lose an arm? Even if you found a guy that actually lost an arm and learned his story,